Back at it this morning. So I'm going to start changing up things a little bit different because it's starting to get a little wetter as we're going down the hill, which is normal. Normally it's drier on top of the hill, and water goes downhill, so it gets a little bit wetter. So what I've got to do, instead of putting 12 inches of stone in here, what I'm going to start doing now is cutting a little bit more out. We've got some dirt from the animal hospital project. It's not too far away. We're actually going to start cutting some of this mud out. As you can tell, since I stripped it, all the groundwater is starting to come out. But down about 4, 5, 6 more inches is a pretty solid base right there. So I just need to get rid of this mess on top. And instead of using so much expensive stone, we're going to bring in some of that sandy or rocky fill, dump that in here, roll the fabric back out, and then put our 4 to 5 inches of stone on top, instead of trying to bridge it with 12 inches of stone, because the dump truck load only goes about 30 feet when you put it 12 inches thick. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna go do. Get the scissors, cut this fabric off. I'm gonna put the smooth bucket back on, just because the more you drive the skid steer in there, it gets everything pumping and sloppy and wet. So I'm gonna cut it out the excavator, pile it up, and take the skid steer and take it down there and dump it in a pile, and we'll do something with a mountain of mud later. It's just going to be a slow process today getting this cut out. Yeah, if we can do 40 or 50 feet at a time, get some good dirt in there and packed in, and then put some stone over it, I think it'll bridge across it. It's solid down there. It's just 12 inches of mush on top. The little Yanmar doesn't even want to drive through it. I'm ready for summer. Well, that's actually pretty solid right there. I know it looks like mud, and there's actually a little bit of water leaching out from under that stone, but I'm going to keep cutting it down to that, and we'll put some of that better sandy or rocky material that he's going to haul in here in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and cut this back about 30-40 feet, get it piled up, then move it with a skid steer, and then push off the good dirt. We'll put fabric on top of that, and then stone on top. So that's working pretty good. It's actually a pretty solid base. I think what's happened is the ground is so hard below, it's not letting the surface water run down, and it just kind of lays on top of that. But I think we keep filling that in. I've piled up that much mud right there. I'm gonna bring the skid steer down here and start scooping it up and taking it back there, and I guess we'll just waste it on that hillside eventually. So I got that pile of mud moved, slowly working my way back. We got a load of clay brought in here. John brought that, and I've already raked it out and tracked it in, but it filled in that soft spot. So pretty much if I can get it all to that grade right there, keep working my way back, that'll save on stone. Then I can roll my fabric back out and top dress it with the stone and not waste so much. This stuff is packing pretty good. You know, everything's got a lot of moisture in it around here with all the rain we've had this year, but it's a lot better than what I got right here to work with. So I'm gonna take the mini. The ground's really hard right here. It's just everything on top of it's just goo, and strip some more of that back. So Zach has said it was too wet to cut down any big trees today, so he got bored and wanted to come run the skid steer. So he's running the skid steer. Not really getting a whole lot done because it's so it's so muddy. It won't even fill the bucket up. You got to use the 4-in-1 bucket to bite it up. It just sits there and spins if you try to dig into it. Oh, well, the good thing is you don't even have to look backing up. You just hold the stick backwards there, and it follows the ruts all the way to where you got to go. It won't come out of them. But he's taking that mud and piling it up like I was doing up there in that pile. Getting that moved. I got that load finished getting that spread out and kind of tracked in. I'll put one more in, then I can take the roller and drive it over there. And that's working pretty good. It's got some bigger rock in there. I can kind of loosen this lower section and then run the clay over it. And then pretty much get it graded out enough where I can roll fabric over it and then put some stone on it. We'll try to get everything that we cover in dirt or undercut out covered in stone today before we leave. He's going to try to scrape a little mud off. I just give up on scraping the mud off. Seems like the more you scrape off, the deeper you get and the wetter everything gets. He's like, this is a mess. I know that, Zach. got the dirt put in here now. Forgot how many loads of clay we've hauled in here, but got all the mud undercut out. Got a big pile down there where Zach is with the Mini. I'm going to take the roller and roll this in real quick and go ahead and lay the fabric back in. It ain't the prettiest in the world, but there's some big rocks in here and it's kind of hard to grade 12-inch diameter rock. So the fabric covered up, now I'll finish grade it with the stone. But pretty much now we have a nice solid base, and once I roll it in, it'll be good. Alright, got the fabric rolled out at the end of where we stopped the stone at, covering up this fresh dirt we just put in. Got it done all the way to the pole. I got to finish rolling in from the back of the roller down, but I didn't know how long it would be before he got here, so I went ahead and rolled the fabric out, and he should be here about any minute. We'll get a load dumped out. Last load of stone for today. Should get most of the fabric covered, and I'll get it graded and rolled in before I leave. In case it does rain over the weekend, it'll be sealed off and most of all the dirt we hauled in protected. It's been a slow but steady process. Hauling that or cutting all that wet dirt out sure did make a big difference, and hauling the good clay in here. That's a lot of undercut though. Well, that's it for today. I don't know what in the world I'm going to do with all this dirt. Wasn't planning on probably 2 or 3 loads of grass, and I probably got 8 loads. But the driveway's coming along good. I had my doubts if we were going to get back here, but cutting all that out and hauling in that good clay with that rock in it built a pretty good base back here. And pretty much I stopped right here because we got to dig all that up when I put the culvert in to get across the creek there. But I got this roughed in and rolled in for the weekend. Well, if it rains, it should run off of it. I'll worry about cleaning all the edges up nice and pretty once we get done. No need to clean it up now. Every time you grade it, it makes these little windrows down the side and kicks rock off. So, oh well, that's it for today.